Hey there everyone, Andrew here with the American Heritage Museum. Today we're going to be learning about folding wings on military aircraft. Now, before we dive into the video, we need to ask ourselves a question. Why do aircraft need folding wings? What's the point? While there are a number of reasons that aircraft have or need folding wings, today we'll primarily be focusing on the needs of carrier-based aircraft, those being military aircraft based on aircraft carriers. Now, the space on an aircraft carrier is limited, and to have an effective air wing, you need as many aircraft as you can comfortably fit on that carrier. And during World War II, this was especially true. The more aircraft you could fit on the ship, the more you could have in the air, and the more effective that carrier could be in combat. Now, when you have aircraft like the TBM Avenger with its 54-foot wingspan, that finite space gets burned up really quickly. Now, this is where folding wings come into play. The concept of the folding wing was first introduced by the Short brothers in 1913, who designed an airplane creatively named the Short Folder. Now, this aircraft would have its wings locked forward for flight, but then, when you were on the ground, those wings could be unlocked, swinging them backwards, giving the aircraft a smaller overall footprint. Fast forward to 1935, and after lots of research and development, the first American naval aircraft gets its set of folding wings, the Douglas TBD Devastator. Now, this aircraft uses overhead folding wings, meaning that the wings fold straight up towards the fuselage with the wingtips sitting over the canopy, thus reducing the footprint of the aircraft. Another benefit of this system is that the wings are hydraulically operated, meaning that when the engine is running to power the hydraulic pump, the pilot can fold or unfold the wings himself with controls found in the cockpit, rather than relying on ground crew to manually fold or unfold the wings, thus making the pilot more self-sufficient. The concept of the folding wing really hit its prime, however, in 1941, with the introduction of the Grumman F4F-4 Wildcat. This was an updated version of the earlier Wildcats that had been in service since 1940, with the most important change being the introduction of the patented Grumman Sto-Wing design. This design works by using a one-of-a-kind hinge to move the wing on two axes at once, both rotating it and moving it in towards the fuselage in one smooth motion. Now, the introduction of this design meant that in some cases, aircraft carriers could carry up to 2.5 times the number of aircraft they could before. One downside of this design is that the Wildcat's wings are not hydraulically operated, meaning that to fold or unfold them, deck crew has to go out and manually manipulate the wings. To do this, they unhook the wingtip from the tail section, allowing the wing to move freely, swing it down, and push it up into place. Then, another crew member at the leading edge of the wing turns this red handle, engaging the locking pin, holding the wing in place. At that same time, this small red flag on the top of the wing moves down into the wing below the surface. This gives the pilot a quick visual indicator that the wing is fully locked and that he's safe for takeoff. To unfold the wing, the crew simply repeats the process, unscrewing that locking pin, rotating the wing back to the rear, and locking it back to the tail section. Now, you may be wondering, if there's this big break in the wing, then how does the control stick still control the aileron out near the wingtip? And the answer is pretty simple. Inside the wing, we have these two control faces. This one on the inner section being connected to the control stick and is completely adjustable to mesh with this control surface just inside the wing. Now, this control surface goes to a linkage connected to the aileron, and when these two meet when the wing is closed, this allows the control stick to manipulate the aileron as normal, even though the wing is essentially in two pieces. Due to the success of the new Sto-Wing design, it would stick around on a number of later Grumman models, including the F-6F Hellcat. This fighter, introduced in 1943, also uses the Grumman Sto-Wing design. The wings are still manually put in place. However, instead of the old red spinny locking handle, the Hellcat uses a hydraulic locking system, with all the controls located in the cockpit. The TBF and later TBM Avengers also use the Grumman Sto-Wing design. However, what's interesting about these is that they fold entirely under their own hydraulic power, meaning that, just like with the earlier TBD Devastator, the pilot just has to have the engine running to power the hydraulic pump and can move controls around in the cockpit to fold or unfold the wings himself. And the hydraulics in this case are a borderline necessity, given the sheer size and weight of the wings and the height of the aircraft itself. I mean, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to try and fold these by hand. on the deck of an aircraft carrier, pitching up and down in the Pacific Ocean. Other notable aircraft of the time that also used hydraulic folding wings include the F-4U Corsair, SB-2C Helldiver, and A-1 Skyraider. And while these overhead wings aren't quite as elegant as the Grumman Sto-Wing design, they still got the job done. Modern carrier-based aircraft still use folding wings to help save space, like the FA-18 and F-35C, both of which using folding wingtips. However, some aircraft produced in the modern day by the Northrop Grumman Corporation still use the old Sto-Wing design, like the C-2 Greyhound and the E-2 Hawkeye. It's a tried and true method, so why change it? I really hope you enjoyed the video and maybe even learned a little something new. If so, consider dropping us a like and maybe even subscribing, as it really does help us out a lot. In the meantime, my name's Andrew with the American Heritage Museum. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.